Hello everyone and welcome to another video. This is the Demoscene report for the 17th of June 2024. As usual, I collected all of the news and went through all of the latest releases from the active Demoscene, summarized everything on this video below. The links are on the description so you can check them at your own leisure. And if you don't know what the Demoscene is, it refers to the digital art culture that has been active since the late 80s, and there are a couple of useful links on the description below as well to get you up to speed on what it actually is that I'm talking about. Hope you find this video interesting nonetheless, and if you do, please consider sharing it with a friend. It's the best way to help us grow our audience and keep these videos happening in the near future. A lot of things happened this week, including 2 new demo parties in Norway and Poland, along with some releases that finally became public coming from past week events in Sweden and Germany. So let's take a look at the different things that we have to show for you today. Starting off with a High Coast Hack 2024 summer, a party that's been happening for 9 years now. Very small party happening in Sweden. But it always has a few releases out. The winner entry this year was a little blue nucleus, a little Amiga OCS intro. Then we had a Nordlicht demo party, which we briefly talked about last week already, but there were some releases that were missing. So let's go through it a little bit more in depth now. Starting off with the 512 intro. 42 Bastion released an intro for the Atari Jaguar. Then there was a release for the Vectrex by Rift. They also did something for the Vectrex at Nova demo party. BCI by Loso got second place with a little intro for the Amiga, and the winner was Origins by Rivals for the Micro W8 marquee design, and T-Drinker doing a collaboration work which was really high quality one. So congratulations to Rivals for winning this little competition at Nordlicht. Then we had a very small Ashi and Nancy competition. Third place to Public Offense, second place for Nordlicht Bull by Coax Cable, and first place for Ollie with Tat Nord. More investigation, mystery, ANSI. Executable music competition was won by Rolly of Mayday for the Atari VCS. Gravedigger competition, which is a competition where you pick up things that were made a very long time ago and release them now. It was won by The Scene Is Dead FT2 demo by Dubmood, which is actually a tracked music entry that was originally made for an intro for Razer 1911. But then it was remade under V2, and the original in Fast Tracker 2 was never officially released, so now it was finished and released. Fourth place went to Spreadpoint with his old Amiga little intro with a little blot showing. Pretty good intro, but very short. Third place was for music by Schald Production. Second place for Outbreak number 4, Disc Mag for the Commodore 64, and the winner, as we already said, a Fast Tracker 2 entry by Dubmood that was finally released. Ironing Beads was a fun competition that you could make in front of the party entrance. There were some little beads that are that melt with the temperature, so you can do some sort of pixel artwork with these little beads and make a fun competition out of it. It's not the first time that they have it at Nordlicht. It's a cute little artisanal thing that you can do. Sixth place to Bug Erfaren by Taga Klueter Storfal. Fifth place for Disco Crime by Meadow of Titan. Fourth place Tat Nord Sidund by St. Cole. Third place A Knife Is Not a Good Nose, Kevin Are You Dying Kevin by Ollie, making a reference to the Kevin character from Demoscene meme. Second place A Case of Nordlicht by Raccoon Violet and Shani, and in first place Das ist Bio by Pumpernickel. I guess it's important to mention as well that the theme for Nordlicht was like a crime scene investigation sort of a thing, so you can see a lot of that influences also in the competitions, different ones. New School Demo Competition, not many entries, joke entry by some random Brit with delay replacement service. Then a second place for a fast-made 4K intro by Slipstream called Unexpected. And the first place was Lai Ki by Siosai from Taiwan, which is their third demo, I believe, or second demo, and some executable graphics along the way. Very cool demo. Thanks for the shout out for the Portuguese scene as well. Lovely to have you here on the previous momentum. Worthy party winner, in my opinion. And then we had the new school graphics competition. Not many entries. Again, was won by Ollie with Pokorn by den Fischen. I guess playing poker with fish. Old school demo competition had a bit more competition on it. Fuji Boink by Spreadpoint making a little joke on the Amiga Boing intro that used to be famous on Amiga. Here, redoing the concept but with the Atari logo and the Resta bars. They are typical from the Atari scene. Fourth place to the Reiki or the Riki by Mayday with a reference to Die Hard there. VXL by Desire for the Commodore 64 getting third place. This nice little effect. Second place, You goes to Deadline by Rabnaug with a very hard to read scroller text there, but a nice plasma effect. And first place was Raster Master by Resistance for the Amiga. Resistance being quite active on few different platforms lately. A very solid little demo there as well. Good graphics, couple of good effects. So a solid winner for the old school demo competition at Nordlicht. Old school graphics, graphics made for old school platforms. Who Killed Blinky got 6th place. In 5th place, Petsky for the Commodore 64. Samus by Guinea Pig. A Masked Investigation by Raccoon Valet for the Amiga got 4th place. Third place, also pixel art for the Amiga, The Rookie by Sule of Oftenheid. Dead and Buried for the Commodore 64 getting 2nd place. And in 1st place, Ghost Ship by Slacks of Quantum for the VIC-20 of all platforms, which is not very common to see some pixel art for. So really cool to see this one win. Photo competition usually has more entries as usual. B by Siosai getting 18th place. I'm gonna skip a few of them and focus on the top 5. So the Church of Fashion by Aldroid, Water Galaxy Reborn by Mop of Alcatraz, and Finnish Fliegen by Noogie Noogie Noogie, or Noogie 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 by Crazy Crack getting 3rd place. 2nd place to Not Cross with some underwater footage there. And in 1st place, Spooky Encounter, a Ghostly Case by Venom. Streaming music competition was won by Mrs. Beanbag with It's Gonna Be Good. Track music competition was won by Sega Musics with The Cure. Wild competition where anything goes that doesn't fit any of the other categories that happened in the party. Got a few entries. 6th place, A Photo Teenage Mutant Space Tetris by Sunspire. Then ISS Meets X Party by Rolly. Thankful Compofylla by Porosyon and Fleroviux, thanking some people who helped Porosyon with their troubles on the previous year. Spectral Flux by Buzz Error Collective getting 3rd place with their customary oscilloscope video entry. And 2nd place, Title Sequence The Movie by Mikaleos, a little joke production about title sequences. And in 1st place, Dat Nord der Comic zur Serie. I would love to tell you what it's about, but I don't understand German, so I really don't know. It's a comic about a crime of some sort, and it won the competition, so congratulations to Ollie. And that's it for Nordlicht. Nice little party happening in Bremen, I believe, of all places. Yes, in Bremen in Germany. Thank you so much for all the releases and hope you had a lot of fun. Also happening on the same weekend, but in Sweden, there was a party dedicated to the Atari with also a lot of good quality releases that came out. Let's take a quick look at some of them. 256-byte intro competition was won by 42 Bastion, a very similar intro that was submitted to Nordlicht, but this one is for the Atari Lynx instead of the Atari Jaguar. 42 Bastion always does like the same intro for the Lynx and for the Jaguar, because the hardware is quite similar with a few little differences as far as I know. So yeah, congratulations 42 Bastion. 42K music that fits into 42 kilobytes was won by 505 and Modmate with C Wannabes, a little reference to Commodore stuff there. DU2 ST-Med full screen photo, photo that fits on the Atari ST resolution, was quite packed with a lot of entries. I guess most of them were converted into the Atari ST format. I'm going to focus on the top 5. Daliala Briner by Evil of That Hacker Society, getting 4th place, along with Gwem, with Lost Statue. 3rd place, Leben im Kronengraben by CG, with this little wood stream. Pile of Rock by Coral in 2nd place. And 1st place, You Shall Not Pass by Exoset of the Swedish MFX. Next up, we have the demo intro competition, which actually the winner is not fully released yet. They're still doing a final version, Ephedrina with a music disc there. But let's take a look at all the other entries nonetheless. Inbjudan by Elsing for Svenska Demoscene Klubben RF. I can't believe I managed to say that properly. 7th place to Chroma Grid Crack Throw by Debug, just a little crack intro for the Atari ST. Spastiba 2024 for the Atari ST as well. A little joke production making fun to the Russian scene. Definitely number 1 by Spice Boys for the Atari ST as well. Got 5th place with another nice little intro. Stay Forever by Cream, getting 4th place with a music disc. IKI Compofylla party version by New Line, getting 3rd place with a 64 kilobyte intro. 2nd place, Omega Boot Sector, the Flying Egg, an intro that fits completely into the boot sector of the Atari ST, got 7th place. And the 1st place, the music disc that is not publicly released yet by Ephedrina, called YMSE, coming out soon. Low res graphics competition, graphics for the Atari ST, not many entries, only 2, and was won by Bloodstained Grief by ProTech. The Wild competition had some streaming music entries, also some graphics. Not sure why this wasn't included on the other competition. I guess because it's Atari 8-bit, not Atari ST. Yes Baby by Neon Workout getting 2nd place, also a music entry, and the winner was an Atari ST game called Chroma Grid, released by Toys. So nice little game. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I only saw some videos about it, but it looked pretty good, so check it out. Especially if you have an Atari. And you can see the voting here was also quite high, 491. I think the max is 5, so a lot of people really liked it. So that's a good indicator as well. And then we are left with a compo, which I believe was the first time that took place at Sommarhack, a 0-bit playing demo. So everything is supposed to be done using raster effects. If you don't know what a raster is, I'm going to have some difficulty explaining, but I'm going to try. When you are rendering an image to the screen, there are some raster, you call the line that's being drawn the raster line. So on some more old computer platforms, you have to count those kind of raster lines, and when it's doing something, you can interrupt it and change it and do something else. And this, for example, you can use to change some colors in the middle of the raster line. So these are usually called raster effects. Rasters made entirely with interrupt changes along the raster line, or making sure that you follow the raster line properly, or timing all the instructions to make sure you have those timings proper. And you can do some interesting things with it, especially on hardware that didn't have proper hardware acceleration sprites and things like that. People would abuse raster effects a lot more, and so they decided to make a demo category specifically for only effects using this. Atari can do more things than this. You can put images, bitmaps into the screen, but the point of the demo was to only make things changing this raster line interrupts. So a couple of interesting, or 5 interesting demos that were released. 5th place was Defense Force with FF8240W. And in 4th place, B-Pod by Extreme, doing this little scroller, but also with a plasma effect sort of effect on it. You can see the main focus is on changing the colors per chunky part. Similar thing that was done by Psycho Hacking Force for PHF Rally 2 0-bit plane. which is actually a game that you can play. 96k intro, a series of raster effects by SMFX got second place, which looked a lot more complex than the previous entries, and the winner was No Pixels, No Regrets by Dead Hacker Society. Also a couple of different effects, all of them using the raster tricks that were already mentioned. Here is a plasma effect made entirely with raster interrupt effects. So really interesting stuff, especially if you like Atari and you know the Atari platform a little bit. You can do some very interesting things and really cool demos in that regard. And that was what Sommarhack had to offer. They've been around for quite a few years. In 2009, you can see here on Demoscene, always focusing on the Atari, and it's one of the main Atari parties happening in Sweden. Moving on to other news of things that happened this week. Anatomy of a Compofylla is a write-up about the intro that they did for Sommarhack. It goes through the motivations of what they did, the technical aspects of it as well. So very cool, especially if you are interested in doing some stuff for the Atari. It explains a few of the tricks, like how they did the things that they did on that intro in particular. So very worth checking out. I recommend you reading it. Then we had Party Pack number 22 by Artstate. A pack is a disc that contains multiple little intros there. In this case, the Artstate Party Pack contains all the latest Amiga intros that have been released on the previous couple of weeks. You can see the full list of them here. So if you would like a single disc that you put into your Amiga and see all of the latest Amiga entries, this is the thing that you should download and burn into a disc and have it play. 40 Years of Magic was released for the Amstrad CPC as well, a little music disc showing the full capacity of the Amstrad CPC. Then we have the Hope conference coming up in New York with a couple Demoscene events happening in it. Inverse Phase is doing a talk. I think he always does it at Hope like for 4 years in a row now. He always gives a little talk about what the Demoscene is, play some demos, get some of the people interested there. Interested about the Demoscene, and I think there's also a live coding thing that Mr. Synaxter is participating on, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, if you are in New York for Hope Conference, check out the Demoscene corner there as well. More things. There was this very cool talk about the 3D Toon rendering in Hi-Fi Rush. It's not really Demoscene-ish, but I think a lot of Demoscene people will find this very interesting to watch if you haven't yet. Talks a lot about different rendering things, how to make certain things work. So very cool if you're looking into modern ways to render Toon-like rendering. Very cool talk to check out. I learned a lot with it. Then there was a version 2.0 release of the PlayStation 2 emulator PCSX2, which is very cool. There is a lot of Demoscene development or homebrew development for the PlayStation 2, which this emulator is a very critical part of, and some Demoscene people also use emulators for developing their own demos before testing it on real hardware. So very cool to keep up to date with emulator news as well, and this is a major release for the PlayStation 2 emulator. And then in Norway, Black Valley took place this very weekend. The releases are already available. The results are also available as well. Went through all of the screenshots, so I think we should be good to go to show to you the releases that came out. Also, the VOD is still available on Twitch as well if you want to check the stream itself, featuring a couple of very good sets by Lou Goober as well. Let's start off with the 4K executable graphics. Only 4 entries, but all of them quite good quality. First, this little... I guess they're boxes by Juby, a very cool entry that they did for Linux for 4K, a very rustic look to it. Then a more abstract form by Writer with Equidem, also doing a very cool 4K entry. Second place, Dusk City by Solman, going for a more realistic vibe, doing this city escape things. I really like the buildings, the sky, the water looks good for the most part. Some weird things more down here. I didn't really like the bridge, like it misses some detail. I think if it had some extra detail on the bridge would really sell the point across, but very good image nonetheless as well. So well done, Soulman. And the winner was a dubplate by Psycho of Loonies. Also very good rendering quality here. Some reflections, the lighting, the shadows, really cool stuff. Also some slightly depth of field. So yeah, very good rendering here. Well done, Psycho. Congratulations on winning the 4K executable graphics. They also had an AI graphics competition where you should submit all your AI entries that don't fit anything else. A couple of nice little entries there. This one by Rudy, I really like the style on this one in particular, but I managed to get something similar myself, so I know it's not that hard. Some good images overall, but it does have the typical AI aesthetic feeling to them. That bled till that this will take. This will be a reference further down the line in the other competitions. The winner was Global Entanglements by Aledamri by Fasingen, and it shows how AI still struggles on handling knots. Like, it's not realistic knots at all, but it does the job. So congratulations Eladamri of Vasingen for winning this competition. Then Black Valley had a black metal competition dedicated to music in the black metal style. It was won by Skugmannen with Haktua by a Troll. And second place to Protec with Svartdal. Freestyle graphics, only 4 entries, but pretty decent quality. Unfinished Project by Flashida getting 4th place. Radical by Freya with a nice little drawing there getting 3rd place. Second place Awakening by Critical with some Photoshop skills. And in 1st place Tale of Turisus by Neotheta getting the 1st place. New School Demo had a few more entries than the other demo parties happening lately. 6th place Blyha Valley by Slipstream, 5th place Il Mosaic by Roti with a more abstract psychedelic intro. I think it was actually 4 kilobyte intro, not a demo as it's listed there. Seagull by Quarf with a little joke production about a seagull. Never Stop the Scroller by No CMP. Pretty good music, pretty good message. Didn't really go much further, but pretty solid demo. Pretty solid one scene demo overall. Chemistry by Beat Bear and Ninja Dev, also a quick little party production made for the browser by Ninja Dev with music by Beat Bear. And in 1st place, Windows Fever by Will Brisen and Yugasin with this little Windows demo, like they actually creating the windows and moving them around instead of using a full screen window. They're actually making a demo of the Windows system, which is kind of interesting. Wish it would be taken a step further. It felt a bit simplistic. I guess it was more of a proof of concept, but I think it has potential. And I also wonder if this tab here showing up is because it's Windows 11 and you could probably do a borderless version of these windows as well to have a enhanced effect. Anyways, congratulations Wild Brisen and Yugasin for winning the New School demo competition. New School music was won by Skugmannen as well, so taking all the music competition. Hold My Beer and Start Tootin'. Old School demo competition was a lot more filled with interesting entries. Low Frequency Operator by Slumgood. Only music, not really having much visuals, but the music was really good. Made using Amiga Clang, really high quality stuff. Too bad they didn't finish the demo. Would love to see something with this music. In 4th place, a little Commodore 64 crack intro by Simosis. In 3rd place, Will It Be Me by Sys5, a more conceptual Commodore 64 4K intro. Graphics were quite simple, but the lyrics were quite interesting, so I liked for that regard. Simplex by Desire and Play Psycho getting 2nd place for a MS-DOS Pentium demo, which felt a bit unfinished, lazy in some aspects. It did have a 3D engine playing, but it didn't really do much with it. But props for doing MS-DOS demos in 2024. And in 1st place, a very worthy winner, a very good demo for the Sega Master System, Chunky Disaster by Darklight and Offense, doing a really cool effect. A couple of effects here using this little system to save some bytes, but at the same time has a very interesting aesthetic to it. So congratulations Darklight and Offense. Probably the highlight of the party for me was actually that demo. Old School Music was won by Skuggamannen as well, so Skuggamannen winning all the music compos at Black Valley this year. Pixeled Graphics also had a few entries. A very good entry for the MSX here by Rui 8-bit. Was expecting it to place much higher than it did. I found the Lights by Raccoon Violet getting 4th place. Face of a Woman by Protec getting 3rd place. 2nd place, Valley Visitor by Critical, with a very interesting touch that they were using the palette of the Black Valley website. So a very cool way to connect it to the party that it was submitted to. And in 1st place, Fury in Fur by Folka of Depth, with this little teddy bear about to kill you. Next Mode Graphics, only 4 entries. Who's Dead by Quex Cable getting 4th place. Bit Bear by Bit Bear getting 3rd place. 2nd place, Instinct by Load Error for the Amiga. This doesn't look Amiga, this looks DOS. Oh, I guess the screenshot was taken wrongly and should be retaken and resubmitted to Demozoo. And the winner was Pseudo-Petsky, a Petsky with alterated car set, as far as I can recognize, by Roti of Ninja Dev, called Cool Cat and Crazy Dog. Wild competition, the last competition on Black Valley, DJ Unicorny by Ernie, just a photo entry on 6th place, a little video about making t-shirts on the 5th place. 4th place for FE6 Synth MP4 by Roti, with a very psychedelic video there by Roti, very interesting piece. 3rd place, Raccoon Violet had a broken monitor that they were dragging around with them, and they only realized they were it was broken at Black Valley, but still had a little border of pixels working, so they decided to make a demo for it, and they got 3rd place. Very cool thing, a very unique platform, because you won't find another monitor exactly like this one. So interesting in that regard. Was expecting it to place higher, but it did not, because El Compo Sauna by Grippy and Slumdog, with a little hand-drawn animation about an epic sauna showdown, got 2nd place, and the winner was Det ble minst lektate by the Gears of Rage Quit, which is a little Norwegian meme 20 years after there was this joke production made by Volume Design, and now they remade the concept with the power of AI technology. So abusing AI technology for a completely ridiculous reason with some hilarious results. Probably works better if you know the original and if you're Norwegian, but still funny in some ways nonetheless. So that was a Black Valley, another of the demo parties that happened this weekend. There was another one, Lost, that also took part this weekend, but not all of the releases are available yet. The results are not fully available yet, so I will save it for next week to talk about it in more depth. But before we wrap things up, there are still a few more things that I wanted to talk to you about, a few more news that came in. Little wedding intro by ZeroTeam, sending some congratulations to a couple of friends, was released for the ZX Spectrum. A new game made by a now veteran Demoscene, Nusen, has been working on her little cat Metroidvania little game for the Pico 8. It's going to be available at itch.io and Steam, so check out the trailer release, and it should be out really soon. Then a usual bunch of Commodore 64 releases that are released outside of any competition. I Was a Teenage Bumsknödel by False Flag. Simple Bluish One, a crack intro by Blazon, 50 Years of DJS by Sandor, Rampar Swinger intro, another crack intro released by Trex, project intro by Genesis Project, 4 kilobyte intro by Verstal, reMETA number 19, the recurring disc mag sort of party written thing that Hungarians usually do whenever they go to a party. They write about what's happening in the party, and then we release this sort of disc mag with all the insights about the party. So it's a nice little party report in some way, or a nice way to remember the party by, and they made one for the ad hoc demo party that happened a couple weeks ago. Then Pack Summer Edition was released by Nikron, a small meeting that they have happening, I think it's in Germany, if I'm not mistaken, or Hungary actually. So they released this little intro to celebrate that. And then, also the Hungarians released a new edition of Overshadow, Disc Mag for the Commodore 64. And I think that's it in terms of new releases. Only thing left is to talk about the upcoming demo parties. I will cover the releases from the Lost demo party this coming week, as I already mentioned. There are a few more demo parties happening this coming weekend. Vamala party in Finland, Die Halt happening in Russia. Then we have Euskal Encounter, a larger LAN party with some small Demoscene presence there happening in Bilbao. Geeks Can Dance number 3 happening in the Sea-Base Hackerspace in Berlin on the same weekend. And then the Assembly Summer, the biggest Finnish demo party happening every year, is taking place in the beginning of August as well. Same time, a little Commodore 64 meeting happening in Germany, and a few more parties planned out for the rest of August. Pagadata, dedicated for the Amiga and Commodore 64. Silly Venture, dedicated to the Atari. Evoke, which is the second largest demo party in Germany. Syntax Society Summer Party in Sweden. Jumalauta 24 years, if you want more far in your life. Chaos Constructions 2024, the largest demo party happening in Russia. Xenium, the biggest demo party in Poland. And Aqua Party, a small Commodore 64 party happening in Germany. So a lot of parties happening throughout the summer, which is quite normal from non-pandemic year of the demo scene, or summer of the demo scene, as we usually see it. So very happy to see so many parties popping up, and I hope I can keep up with most of them on these reports. Hope you enjoyed the report for this week. If you found it useful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, donate a kidney to a friend. And if you like to support me financially, please also consider submitting something to patreon.com/psenough. Whatever you're willing to donate would be very much appreciated to keep up the bills paid and all the stuff that's needed to be taken care of to keep this reports happening every single week. So that's it from me. Hope you have a great day. See you next week. Bye bye everybody. Take care.